I know you gonna dig this.
I'm outside in an AMG, right outside, TT.
Twin Talk Podcast.
I missed the day. I missed the whole day of uploading something for this. And it's frustrating because that's like the whole reason that my life is kind of messed up, is because I have a really big problem with consistency. I have a lot of great tools. I have a lot of great ideas. I got a lot of great places I can reach out to do different things that I like, and I don't have the consistency to get any of it done. Or I don't have the ability to be consistent, which would then help me get more things done. And so it's frustrating. I was sitting here about to work on a drawing and then work on a couple paintings, and I thought, why don't I just sit down and record? I really part of the reason that I wanted to just keep being lazy was my voice is a little bit scratchy. I smoked a little bit more than I should have, and so I got some raspiness going on. Also, though, I wanted to make this a little sit down where I talk about an art piece. And the last episode I didn't talk about an art piece, but I was hoping to have a few done, and I have some done. I don't have my thoughts fully fleshed out. I made this piece. It's really, I don't even know how to start explaining it, because there's not much to it. It's nothing. It's not a big deal in any way. But I don't know. I guess the way I talk about it can make it seem weird, or I don't know. The piece started because I was thinking to myself that I wanted to make something that was cringe, or a little bit like edgelord. Edgelord means like, edgy. Like, ooh, you're being edgy. You're into emo and goth and like dark things and depression. Ooh, look at this edgy boy over here. I wanted to make something sort of like cringy and edgy, and not for no reason. I can't remember what I was watching, but it was a podcast. Somebody was talking about how being cringe is probably the most purest form of living. I can't be as cool and as like illustrative as them with my words, but I just like the thought that cringe is close to godliness. Is like to be cringe, you have to really be in the moment. Very few people can be cringe like while trying to be cringe, and that's why fucking what's it called? Cringe comedy on Instagram and TikTok and stuff has blown up in the last couple years, because there's almost an art to being able to be cringy on command. Not funny, not weird, cringy. It's a very specific thing to hit. And there's a couple people I like who dabble in that area, and I'm trying to think of other ways to explain it. I just think it's fascinating. It's like it's not completely like this thing I'm going to bring up, but it's in the vein of like being a porn star, in my opinion, because sex is such a very natural thing. Like, being cringy is such a natural thing, and to be able to convincingly put off that natural thing in an unnatural setting, in a manufactured way, I think is impressive. I think that's like working a muscle, or it's like any art or any skill that you build up over time. Very few people just do it. Like any artist that makes it look easy, they make it look easy because they've worked so hard and figured it out in so many different ways that it makes the work look effortless. And so I was just thinking about cringe, and I was like, well, Ian, what cringe thoughts do you have? What cringe feelings come up in you that you usually push down, or like don't explain in the way that you might like what is I'm thinking that what's cringe can sometimes be the first draft of a good idea. You might think of something immediately, you get a feeling, and you want to portray it in an image, or you want to make a song, or you want to do a dance about it, and you kind of like, you might recoil a little bit. You go like, oh, am I weird for that? Is that a weird idea I just had? Does that make me look a little bit nutso or something? And you overthink something, and you one way to look at something is that like you keep doing drafts of it until it's good. But I also kind of think that the more drafts you do of something, you might be like you might be subconsciously erasing the parts of the piece that are the most inherent to who you are, what you're trying to say, in an attempt to be more in line with more mainstream outlooks and ideals. And maybe not. Maybe you cut off the fat of an idea and you make it better. Who knows? All I'd like to do is take the first thoughts that I have and let them be pieces. And so I'm gonna do a bunch of these, and like once a week I'll just pull a cringy idea out here and just do it. Maybe I won't be consistent on this, and I'll just give up in next week. But who knows? We'll see. The thing that I did the other day, which is a little smiley face with his mouth full of bullets, and under it says "consume ammunition," and I thought I just like that because I like the idea of a smiley face. It's iconic. Everyone knows it. Everyone loves it. And then there's this fascination with suicide, not necessarily in myself, but I just don't want to seem like I want to kill myself. I've had suicidal thoughts, but I'm not thinking about it in that way. I'm thinking about suicide as just like the ultimate. I'm a really curious guy, and I ask a lot of questions. When I don't know something, I Google it constantly. People who hang out with me make fun of me for Googling everything. And I like it because you don't know. You listening to this right now, you don't know anything. You know that you've been through school, you've gotten some misconstrued facts. But unless you're an expert on some topic, you basically don't know anything. You can spend a whole day just Googling shit that you never really knew you don't know, and have a lot of fun. And so I look at suicide as like there's gonna be, if you were to kill yourself or die of natural causes, you're gonna have a question answered. What happens when we die? And it's just the biggest curiosity. And it's kind of fascinating to me that some people can, in some cases, so easily take themselves out. In my darkest days of life, I've thought about killing myself, and I actually put into practice how I would do it. And right at that moment is when it really becomes profound. Yeah, it really becomes profound and amazing to me how hard it would be to actually kill yourself. Very, very hard. I've been on like Reddit groups where I just read dozens and dozens of stories of people explaining how their suicide attempt didn't work. And it's, once again, I come to this phrase that I use for almost everything when I'm trying to describe life in its terrifying beauty. Life is beautifully disturbing. It's almost beautifully disturbing how hard it is to kill yourself. And so the people that do it, to me, are almost impressive. It's not like encouraging and making me go, I could do it. Like, no, I just go, wow, you looked ahead in life and maybe thought, I don't like that. I don't like where I see my life going or the possibilities. And I'd rather dive into the unknowable nothingness of whatever is on the other side. It's terrifying. And so it's admirable in the way that, like, you ever seen Reign of Fire? What's his name? Christian Bale. What's his name? The other guy that talks like this, and he talks real slow. Matthew McConaughey. And they live in this world where everything's like the apocalypse, fire, and everything's burning, and fire everywhere. And and there's dragons, and so people have to like live in like caves and like crowded together like rats trying to like find a way to survive. And Matthew McConaughey comes through into this camp of people, and he's got like his military men behind him. They got big guns. They've killed a dragon before. He's got like the tooth on a necklace around his neck because he's trying to like prove how much of a badass he is. And they kind of take over this little town of people and like force them to be, like Negan in The Walking Dead. And so, 1 second, baby. And so, oh yeah. I bring that up to say, there's this part in the movie where Matthew McConaughey makes a sacrifice to save everybody else, but it's one of those sacrifices where it's more about him than it is about saving anybody. And so, I would always watch the movie and think like, dude, you're dying for no reason, and you're kind of just giving your life up, and it's pretty admirable. That maybe it's like a distraction moment. Maybe I should watch it again. Maybe he wasn't trying to stop the dragon; he was trying to distract it for a second so everybody else could get away. But he does this leaping in the air with an axe, trying to hit the dragon, sort of attack, and the dragon just flies up and just eats him in one gulp. And I'm calling people who commit suicide Matthew McConaughey and Rate of Fire for it. That's so stupid, but the feelings make sense to me. Don't scratch me! Anyways, all of that was a tangent for me describing the image. Smiley face, iconic. The bullets in the mouth. I like when people have their like casual jokes about suicide. I hear a lot of people say, "I'm gonna eat a bullet," and that sounds cool. It's not cool, but it sounds cool. I think a cool band name would be "Eat a Bullet." And so I was typing "Eat a Bullet" into something, and I think it was there was a comment on it. There was somewhere on social media where I was trying to type in "Eat a Bullet," and it didn't let me. It was like, this language is like too graphic for this social media site. And I thought, oh yeah, of course it is. They probably like safeguard against like anything that any kind of language that gets too close to suicidal like ideation. And so then I thought, oh, well then upgrade the words to something that's like not a common way to tell somebody to kill themselves or reference suicide in any way. And then I thought consume ammunition. And for some, to me, the words consume ammunition feel so factory setting, so like bland. It's an extreme thing, but the words consume ammunition make it feel so like rote and bland and like as if it's like boring now. Like everybody says this. There's a joke that I hear among people of my, same socioeconomic class, where people say that their retirement plan is to eat a bullet. It's such a common way to reference your life that it felt like twisting it to that kind of phrasing fits it emotionally. What, are you hungry? Do you not have enough? Is there no water here? You got water, man. Here, you can have half a scoop. But you gonna get fat, bro. You gonna get fat? And you know what? You're a cat. You have nowhere to go. If you want to get fat, you deserve that. I really can't stop that. I mean, I can stop it, but I don't really want to. I want you to live your life. So yeah, that's the image. There's some thoughts on why I made it. It's not deep at all. You know what? It's kind of deep. It's deep. No, actually, here's the real way to say it. It's as deep as it needs to be. People who think it's cringy will go, "Ew, that's cringy. Don't get that away from me." And people who go, "You know what? I kind of like cringe stuff," will they'll move towards it. But it's one of many images that I'm gonna keep redoing and redoing and redoing until it looks cool. Like, think about Mickey Mouse back in Steamboat Willie. He looked hella weird. I didn't really like that. It's iconic now because it's old, But in the moment, I probably would have looked at that and gone like, "That's a kind of a weird looking mouse." So I just see I see this smiley face like that. This is just a quick sketch I did, and it'll evolve 30 times. And if it becomes fun, maybe I'll make a T-shirt. Maybe I'll make a giant painting. Maybe I'll make a stamp. I don't know. Definitely gonna make a sticker. Not of this one. The first one I did is really like, it is cringy. It's not good enough. The skill in the piece isn't good enough to carry how cringy it is. So that's the thing. I gotta make it look nicer. I don't know. Right now I'm working on this little character that I made up a couple days ago with Tomas. It's weird to me. Oh, I should bleep his name out because I always think like he's trying to do tagging and stuff, and he doesn't show his face on social media. And I always think like me and Michael, our other friend, are we're very open with our faces online, and someday somebody could probably, if police wanted to be like, who's this guy who keeps writing, they could like tie up all the different connections and having his name on an audio. You know, it's clues. It's clues. So I'm gonna see if I can remind myself to go in and bleep his name out. If I didn't, then you know that's just what it is. I'm lazy like that. I don't really, and it's really not a big deal to me. It's just kind of fun. We'll see. But we made up this little snake named Khan, and it's a fun little thing. It's like you know, when somebody's like writing graffiti, they might have a little character that goes along with their word, and it's like that. He's just a little. He kind of looks like Kermit, but if Kermit had a snake body. Yeah. I want this little character, this snake. His name is Kon, Kon. I want him to like turn into a vinyl toy and like a little plushie. And if you go on my Instagram, you can see designs of it. I'm gonna take the head and like flip the character around so it can be shaped into a dildo. And I wanna do a lot of like little projects with him to make little things, a plushie, stuff like, you know, little fun stuff. All right. Well, hey, I don't really feel like talking anymore. Not much else I have to say for today. I want to leave off every little podcast with a message to myself in the future. Me and Tally started doing it a few podcasts ago, and I never kept up with it. But I'm trying to think, when I'm 60 years old, and I go, all right, let's go see what Ian was talking about. Let's go see what 32-year-old Ian was talking about back in the day. What would I want to say right now? Buying for time. Cringe is okay. Dive into the cringe unabashedly. Swim in its deep waters. And let it fuel you. Cut off the fat. And cook that fat for another meal later. And enjoy your shit. Work harder. I don't like how often you sit around and you actively make the bad choice. That's what I really should say to myself, is that you have these days where you're pretending to work, and you, in your head, you're thinking, I know what I should be doing. And then you just keep doing all the things you shouldn't do. The amount of times I'm like jacking off and I go soft because I'm thinking like, you have other things you should be getting done. And I keep trying to get that done. I'm like, all right, well, I'll go do those other things, but I just got done. I'm like, it's sad, man. It's sad how I put things off. I have to find what I care about and let that fuel me. It's probably not in the cringe. It's probably in, I don't know. I'll find a life goal. My like end of the year resolution, so that I can make a real New Year's resolution, this is like pre-New Year's resolution. Get life in order so that you can start the new year and pretend like you're on like a real schedule for life for the rest of forever. It's been enough of it's enough of riding by the seat of my pants and like not taking anything seriously. I feel like no one can hold nihilism forever. because after a certain point, it's just like it's like a shit or get off the pot thing. It's like, all right, if you don't care, then, you know, as shameless as it is, consume ammunition. But if you're gonna be here, you might as well care. It's like the thought of a job. So if the job is nicer, you get to choose to have a job. You don't get to choose to be alive. I don't know. Maybe not being alive is way worse. That would be interesting. You die, and then you wake up, and you just immediately you're burning, and you're just like, what? Is this hell? And a guy next to you just goes, hell? What the hell is hell? This is just life after death. And then you look up, and there's like a ladder that everyone's trying to climb up. Ah, we're all burning. Yeah, I need to get on the ladder. Give me room. I need to get on the ladder. You climb to the top of the ladder, poke your head out a hole, and you're being born. You're like, hell? Or life after death is just a room where people are scrambling to try to be born? And that, I think that would be fun, because Neil deGrasse Tyson has a whole bit where he talks about the chances, like, what are the odds that you'd actually get a life? And it's like it's like winning the world's biggest lottery, and you're more likely to win the lottery than like win a chance at life if you're not alive. And that idea that I described with like the burning area with the ladder and everybody trying to climb out, I want to use that in this comic book that me and my brother have been talking about. We're trying to like abstract. Well, I shouldn't say we're trying to. There's things that we both want to do, and we need to confirm exactly how each other sees the comic, because there's a lot of like I don't know how he feels, but for me there are a lot of times where I'm like, all right, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna talk about it, we're gonna nail out what this is. Then he just goes, nah, just like get to work on it, and we'll share notes as we go, and it weirds me out. And then we'll be together talking about the comic, and I'll say, what do you think about doing this, that, or the other? And he'll treat me like I should have already known how he felt about the comic. Like, what? No, why would we do that? We talked about doing this. And it's frustrating that he's on a different page. We're both on different pages, and his idea of what the page is that we're both on the same page. My page is, hey, we're not on the same page, and we should get on the same page. And it's annoying, but yeah, the hell idea definitely has to happen. So what I was gonna say is that I think what we're trying to do with this comic is take a lot of real life things and abstract them into the comic. So, like religion. One thing would be to take what religion is in our world, and then in the comic, make people act how they should be acting if they actually were as religious as they claim they are. So instead of there being like some religious evil cult, they'll just be like a religious cult that just like does really, really nice, amazing things. And by the end of the story, like what I would like to happen is there'll be whatever major conflict is going on, and the main character can't really save everything, but what ends up happening is that this religious cult saves everybody through their consistent regimen belief, ideal that like you should help the poor, help the needy, shelter the unhoused, and feed the hungry, and all that shit. I think I'd like it if at the end of the comic that is what saves everyone, and not this main character that's on like a hero's journey. Fuck that singular individual hero's journey shit. The only thing, the metaphor for them saving everything and not the hero saving everything, is that the only way anyone's gonna fix any problem is if we all come together. I fucking hate the dumb shit where like in Dragon Ball Z, Goku, so that Goku can save everybody, he's like getting a spirit bomb together and he's going, everyone, lend me your energy, and they do that, or Akira Toriyama does that in Dragon Ball to try to be like, hey, Goku can't do it himself, he needs everyone, but Goku's still doing it himself. That's like if Elon Musk was like, I don't have enough money to fix climate change, everyone give me your dollars. It's like, yeah, we paid you money, but we didn't actually like do anything active. You feel different about your environment when you actually put in some sweat equity and That's what the comic should say. Get into your communities. Care about the shit around you. Mwah. Care about the shit around you. Bye-bye.